Doctor Who, the 11th Hour, the first episode of Series 5, is written by Stephen Moffat and starring Matt Smith and Karen Gillan. So, what's the crack? Well, the show got renewed for Series 5 in September 2007. Stephen Moffat replaced Russell T Davies as a showrunner, and Piers Fenger and Beth Wells replaced Julie Gardner as the executive producers. Tracy Simpson and Peter Bennett came as the producers, and Murray Gold stayed on to score. The series introduced Matt Smith as the 11th Doctor after David Tennant left the show.
I love this part, and I love this show so much. And if I don't take a deep breath and move on now, I never will, and you'll be wheeling me out of the TARDIS in my bath chair.
Stephen Moffat wanted to cast a middle-aged actor young enough to run but old enough to look wise. When Matt's agent called him, the producers were unsure because he was 26 years old at the time, and they believed that Smith couldn't play the Doctor because of that age at first. However, Piers Fenger was like, "Screw it, Matt is capable enough to play the Doctor." So the casting got announced in Doctor Who Confidential, and Matt said it's a wonderful privilege and challenge that he hopes he will thrive on.
Truthfully, I haven't. I probably look a bit bags under the eyes now, because it's sort of an iconic part of our culture.
As for the costumes, Matt tried few things to find a look he would feel comfortable and confident in, which would identify his Doctor, and he suggested a bow tie to take the inspiration from Patrick Troughton. Everyone didn't improve until Smith put it on. And I think Matt Smith is fantastic. He plays a man-child, kind-hearted person, and a bit of Troughton vibes. And I'm not gonna lie, but when I was 11 years old, which is how old I was when The End of Time and Series 5 came out, I didn't like Matt Smith at first because he replaced David Tennant. Yes, I was an idiot not to like him, but when I watched his series, he grew on me straight away, and I was really proud when I have the action figures, and I think Matt Smith is a fantastic actor and as the Doctor. So the director suggested Karen Gillan to play the companion, Amy Pond, after when she played Soothsayer in The Fires of Pompeii. Moffat wanted a companion to be short and dumpy, and he later loved the idea of casting Karen, and I think she's fantastic. I do love Amy Pond. They also casted her cousin Caitlin Blackwood as young Amy Pond, aka Amelia Pond, and those two never actually met until the set of Doctor Who, which is crazy. But then again, there's a couple of my cousins I haven't met yet as of time recording because they live a long way from where I live. Stephen Moffat originally named this episode The Doctor Returns and said that the script was hard to write, which I can imagine. He also wanted the Doctor and Amy's relationship to be childlike, like Peter Pan and Wendy instead of boyfriend and girlfriend.
My name is Wendy. Wendy Moira Angela Dodd.
Wendy's enough.
Oh.
So when the season began shooting, and there was paparazzis around, we get a first glimpse of Matt and Karen on set, along with the TARDIS. But then we get the first look in the teaser trailer where the Doctor and Amy travelling through the rabbit hole full of monsters, including the returning ones like the Daleks and the Weeping Angels, where it's all 3D, which I thought it looked fascinating. So Series 5 begins just after the events of The End of Time, where the TARDIS is flying down to London in flames and the Doctor was about to fall off. What a great opening. I found it funny when the Doctor was screaming as he was about to hit Big Ben, so luckily he used a sonic screwdriver to lift the TARDIS a bit high and dodge the Big Ben. So he then pulls himself back up inside the TARDIS, and I do like the title sequence as well. So Amelia does praying, asking Santa Claus to send someone to fix the crack on the wall.
There's a crack in my wall. Aunt Sharon says it's just an ordinary crack, but I know it's not.
Stephen Moffat took the inspiration from his son's cracked wall bedroom for the story arc, and his son was thinking that something interesting lived inside a crack, which is a great idea. So Amelia hears the TARDIS materialising, so she looks out the window to see the TARDIS tipped over and broke the shed. So she went outside, and the Doctor climbed up to the door all soaking wet, and his clothes is kind of ripped, asking for apple, so he fell out the TARDIS and walks into a tree. So then we get a nice and funny scene where the doctor tries different foods and spitting them out like apple, yogurt, bacon, beans and bread and butter. So then he tried fish fingers with custard and he really enjoys it. I have to be honest with you, I actually did try it and I really liked it, despite that I'm not too keen on custard itself. Amelia wasn't scared the fact that the box fall out the sky, man falls out the box and man eats fish custard, as it's a hell of a scary crack on the wall. So after eating some food, the doctor looks at the crack on the wall and mentions that if you knock down the wall, the crack will stay put because it's not on the wall, it's everywhere. And I thought it's pretty effective when the doctor opened the cracked wall and with a big eyeball inside and the voice saying Prisoner Zero has escaped is pretty scary.
Prisoner Zero?
Prisoner Zero has escaped. That's what I heard.
So he gave the doctor a message on psychic paper and closed the wall saying Prisoner Zero has escaped. Stephen Moffat decided not to explore Prisoner Zero's crimes because he didn't think the fans would care. I'd be interested to see more of Prisoner Zero. So after the doctor looks at the corner of his eye, he hears the cloister bell, so he quickly runs to the TARDIS. Amelia wanted to come, but the TARDIS is not safe at the moment. He says his iconic line, "Trust me, I'm the doctor."
Trust me, I'm the doctor.
So the doctor jumps inside the TARDIS and disappeared. I like to see a child being the doctor's companion, like a 12-year-old travelling with the doctor for the whole series for a change. I think that would be a nice change there. So while Amelia packs up her luggage and waiting for the TARDIS to arrive, we get a creepy intense that something is moving inside the house and the clock ticking. So then the TARDIS arrived at daytime, which turns out to be 12 years later. So he then lets himself inside the house and scan the door, knowing Prisoner Zero is there. He then gets knocked out by someone with a cricket bat. Meanwhile, we introduce Rory, who works at the hospital, and his boss, Dr. Ramsden. The actress is known to be in EastEnders, apparently, and she's not really a cheerful woman here. Apparently the patients can't speak, however they kept calling for the doctor. So then the doctor woke up with a grown-up Amelia, now Amy, wearing a police outfit and using a fake radio, as the doctor is handcuffed to the radiator. So Dr. Ramsden kept ranting at Rory and asked him to take some time off. So the doctor got Amy to look at the corner of her eye. So she goes inside the room, which looks like inside of a shed, with a sonic screwdriver covered in goo on the table. So Amy picked it up and Prisoner Zero appeared behind her, which is scary.
Do not look.
As soon as Amy noticed, she runs out and the doctor tries to unlock a handcuff. Then the Prisoner Zero, disguised as a man with a dog on the lead. I have to say, that actor did a fantastic job when he barked, and that long teeth, my god! That is pretty grim. It's like something you'd see in a horror movie. So there's a Traxi voice which distracted Prisoner Zero, so the doctor got himself free, so him and Amy ran out. Sadly, the TARDIS won't let the doctor in as it's rebuilding, but then he noticed the shed is rebuilt and it's at least 10 years, so he gave it a taste and he finds out it was 12 years. And it reveals to be Amelia growing up.
You're Amelia.
You're late.
Amelia Pond, you're the little girl.
I'm Amelia, and you're late.
So the doctor and Amy ran into Ledworth Street. We have a scary speech from the Traxi when it played on the radios and phones, including the ice cream van, saying stuff about the human residents will be incinerated over and over again. So the doctor barged into the old lady's house trying to change channel, and she happens to know Amy. And I like Jeff, he's canny. So Jeff and his gran knew the doctor as the Raggedy Doctor, as Amy did the cartoons when she was a child.
Are you the doctor?
He is, isn't he? He's the doctor. The Raggedy Doctor.
When I first watched this episode, and she said she knows the doctor from somewhere, I actually thought she was one of those old people at the bus in The End of Time, where Wilfred asks them to help to look for the doctor and took photo of themselves with the doctor. But apparently not. As the doctor and Amy heads outside, the fact that the duck pond has no ducks seems to bother him.
Why aren't there any ducks?
I don't know, there's never any ducks.
Then how do you know it's a duck pond?
It just is. Is it important, a duck pond?
And the sun has gone wibbly. He uses a vision like spider sense to see Prisoner Zero and Rory taking pictures of him. So Amy shoves the doctor's tie into a car, and that old bloke needed his car back soon, and Amy asked him to go for a coffee. Man, she runs the place. So then the Doctor tries to get Amy to believe, so Amy unlocked the car and the Doctor jumped onto the grass and snatched a phone off Rory and asked him why did he take a picture of a guy with a dog. The answer is because he can't be in the street. He's in the hospital, in a coma.
Yeah.
Knew it. I loved Arthur Darvill as Rory Williams. I thought he's great and amusing. He was originally going to have a couple of scenes in episode 1 and one scene in episode 6. The fact that Arthur wasn't aware about the full details of the character. He wasn't aware that his character is Amy's boyfriend. Stephen Moffat casted him because how funny he is, and Arthur works with Matt Smith in the play called Swimming with Sharks. And I think he's fantastic. I've met him at Comic-Con and he's really nice. So we get a great scene where the Doctor uses his sonic screwdriver, the lamppost explodes, car alarm sets off, fire engine drove itself away from the firefighters, and a poor old lady in a mobility scooter speeds off. I wonder what happened to her after that. Blimey, Doctor, that's a bit low and extreme. So after he exploded a telephone box, sadly the sonic screwdriver got up in flames and it's damaged. So while the Atraxi flew away, the prisoner Zero melted himself down the drain. While Dr. Ramsden tries to wake Barney up, the prisoner Zero arrived. I like the moments where the Doctor was asking Amy what the guy's name, not Rory the good looking one, and she said Jeff, and Rory's like, thanks. Ah, thanks.
Your friend, what was his name? Not him, the good-looking one.
Thanks.
Jeff.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, that's pretty funny. So the Doctor again lets himself inside the old lady's house and helped himself with Jeff's laptop. When the Doctor was like, blimey, get a girlfriend, Jeff. And later when he said, delete your internet history, I wonder what website he was on.
Here. Blimey. Get a girlfriend, Jeff.
Who knows? So the Doctor contacts the famous people, including Patrick Moore, and he writes on Rory's phone a computer virus to turn every digital display to 0. So the Doctor gave Jeff's gran Patrick's number and advised Jeff to delete internet history and left. Meanwhile, Amy and Rory investigates inside the hospital and runs into Olivia Colman with 2 little girls, who apparently is Prisoner Zero in disguise again. Again, the teeth is terrifying, so Amy and Rory ran and barricade themselves in a room while Prisoner Zero tries to break in. I love the bit where the Doctor has nicked the fire engine and drove up to the hospital, so the Doctor climbed through a window and giving the Prisoner Zero a little smile, so every word in the world turns 0, so the Atraxi managed to trace the phone that the Doctor is carrying. As Prisoner Zero takes a new form, Amy passed out, the Prisoner Zero turns into the Doctor and young Amelia Pond, which by the way, that's how the Doctor finds out what he looks like.
Well, that's rubbish. Who's that supposed to be?
It's you.
Me? Is that what I look like?
You don't know. Busy day.
So the Doctor gets Amy to dream about that she saw Prisoner Zero, and it became its normal form and gets taken away.
Silence, Doctor. Silence will fall.
I thought the effects on Prisoner Zero looks cool. So the Doctor orders Atraxi to return, so the Doctor, Amy and Rory went to the changing room. The Doctor decides to strip his clothes off. Rory looks away but Amy doesn't. So after that, the Doctor, Amy and Rory went on the roof, questioning Atraxi. And I love the footages it played, including the monsters from past modern series and classic series, and all 10 faces of the Doctors with Matt Smith walking through David Tennant's face and says, hello, I'm the Doctor, basically, run.
Hello. I'm the Doctor.
So Atraxi flew away, and the Doctor ran to the TARDIS when it's finally been rebuilt.
Okay. What have you got for me this time?
And he looks inside it and calls it a sexy thing, and disappeared off. So then 2 years later, for Amy, the Doctor came back and asked Amy to travel with him. She said no, but then the Doctor showed her inside, and she's fascinated by it. I do love the TARDIS interior, but I do miss the previous one. The Doctor gets his sonic screwdriver and proud to say that he's the madman with a box.
I am definitely a madman with a box. Ha ha! Yeah.
So the TARDIS disappeared and cut to the scene where there's different models of 11th Doctor in 10th Doctor's clothes and Amelia Pond and Amy's wedding dress. So we get coming soon trailer.
Last night was the night before my wedding, and my imaginary friend came.
Man, what an episode! This is a great start of the series and Moffat's era. I remember first seeing this trailer.
Trust me, I'm the Doctor.
As I was thinking at the time, that looks amazing, but not the same without David Tennant. But yeah, I think this is a fantastic episode. Like I said, I love Matt Smith as the 11th Doctor, and same with Karen Gillan and Arthur Darvill as Amy Pond and Rory Williams. Caitlin Blackwood did so well playing young Amelia Pond. Nina Wadia did a great job playing a shouty Dr. Ramsden. I'm sure she's a nice woman in real life. Marcello Magni is so good playing the terrifying Barney, a guy with a dog. Olivia Colman is a talented actress. She did so well playing Prisoner Zero as well. Sadly, I didn't get around to watch Broadchurch, but I will do eventually. David DeKaiser and Enid Crosby are great as well, and I like Tom Hopper as Jeff. He also played Wesker in Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City film. Murray Gold again does a fantastic music, up there with John Williams and Danny Elfman, especially the I Am the Doctor, so iconic. I think the story is well written and well directed. Originally Series 5 was going to be David Tennant's last one. What would have happened is that the 10th Doctor would have crashed into the back garden about to regenerate, and little Amelia would help him back to the TARDIS and he'd fly away. She'll meet him again when she grew up, but he have no memory of that because we came to realise that was the Doctor from the future. We'd make our way through the series to the point where the Doctor gets back to that, which would be interesting, and Stephen did sort of reuse that idea in Series 6 with 11th Doctor, but of course David Tennant already decided to move on. So, what did you think of this episode? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, thanks for watching. Can't wait to talk more about Series 5, and I'll see you in the next video.